We look at another very critical topic now, talking about the inflation. The pension assets. Of course, we recall last week the federal government did approve 758 billion pension bond there to clear the pension arrears. There's a plan to raise that bond to clear the arrears that has been there since 2004. There, of course, that was part of what the Minister for Finance did mention after the FEC meeting last week. We look at the implication and, of course, the benefit of that decision there taken by the government. I'm being joined in the studio by someone who is very, vast in that sector. This Sani Mustapha is a senior technical advisor, Contributing Pension and Happy Retirement Advocacy, COPEHRA. He was the former director of corporate services at PITAD. My guest is retired but not tired. Glad to have you on Business Daily.
Thank you, Sani Mustapha.
All right, let's look at that decision that was taken last week, clearing the pension backlogs by the federal government. 758 billion is a huge number, and this include, according to the minister, debt under the old defined benefit scheme before the introduction of CPS in 2004. How does this come to you?
Well, the decision by the federal government to really take care of that backlog has, to my mind, the same historical implication as the Pension Reform Act itself. This federal government, headed by the president, have shown resolve and compassion to the pensioners under the Contributory Pension Scheme. And by that singular act, it has reduced the complaints that people are making when they join the scheme, especially those bonds that were going to be issued by the Debt Management Office are going to address 4 key areas. The accrued rights of federal civil servants who joined the scheme in 2004. Many of them, when they retired and they approach their PFA, they have to wait until the federal government pay that accrued right so that it can join their balance in the RSA. And then everything will now be programmed or paid to annuity so that they can get their pension. You look at the hardship of a civil servant that his salary has stopped and the pension has not kicked in. So by this singular act, the federal government have solved that problem. People now retiring into the contributory pension will be very happy and they will get their pension almost immediately.
Indeed. I have read your statement you issued applauding the federal government. Part of what you said is that by taking this historic action of approving a 758 billion bond to settle long-standing pension liabilities, the current federal government has shown compassion and resolve to help Nigeria's pensioners and new retirees. I was going to ask, how would this move grant relief to affected pensioners?
Well, you see, this accrued right have been a very sore point both to the regulator, PENCOM, the PFAs, and everybody, the stakeholder chain. Everybody will be wringing their hand. They don't know what to do. The main solution of the contributory pension is you will be paid your pension as at when due. It will be fully funded. But look at it, over all these years, all the retirees, yes, is partly funded, but they cannot access what was, because the regulation said everything that is supposed to be inside your RSA must be there before you can now program it, so that you can get something, you know, what the scheme promised you, which will be part of, you know, your retirement savings.
Absolutely.
So if you look at it, number two, what this bond address is the pension Protection Fund. This thing, like in England, it has long been in operation. But in Nigeria, they just say it under Section 82 of the Pension Reform Act. But nothing was done. Many governments come, they cannot fund it. But right now, this federal government have funded it, and it means the minimum pension guarantee that is given to pensioners will now take effect. Your money will never finish. You understand? Because people used to say, well, your account will only run for 15 years, then nothing is there. Anybody that has contributed up to 10 years, definitely this pension protection fund will be used. It covers you. Yes, which is very good.
Indeed.
Now, the program withdrawal scheme is at the same with annuity. Money will not run out.
Will not run out.
Yes.
Indeed. Then let's look at the impact of this delay. I'm so worried with the delay. This backlog has been there since 2004.
Yes.
The delay will probably have a lot of impact because many of the pensioners, many would have died. So what's the impact of this delay?
It is
those who may not be available now to access this.
You see, even if you died and your next of kin were paid, so long as the RSA is there, the National Pension Commission will compute whatever is due to you. Now we are going to pension increases. You understand? Because this 758 also addressed pension increases. This pension increases was done under Section 173, subsection 3 of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution as amended. It says all pensioners, pension will be reviewed every 5 years, or when there is a review of the salary of the Federal Civil Service.
Which we don't do regularly.
We do regularly only on the defined benefit side, people under PTAD. But those under contributory pension were not so lucky. Every time this increase was done, they are not, it has not been extended, yes. And the National Pension Commission have been doing the calculation, the actuarial valuation, and they now have to be appealing to the government. I believe also this government is lucky to have gotten maybe funds from this removal of subsidy. And they are applying it where it's supposed to be applied, which is a very good thing. So, you know, even if you have died, you have been paid, definitely when these increases were calculated and paid into the RSA, the next of kin will come back and get it.
And have,
that is the beauty.
Access to it.
And have access to it, yes.
Okay, so what can we do now to prevent this future occurrence? I mean, the accumulation is so huge. Talking about 758 billion is a very huge number.
Yes.
What can we do to prevent, I mean, the reoccurrence of this kind of accumulation?
Well, it is to vote for a business-savvy government. Once policymakers have business ideas, this is what will happen. All these things can be solved. You understand? Because really, if you don't take care of your pensioners, they are the conscience of the nation. You understand? So therefore, take care of the pensioners. Do social security. It will benefit the whole society. Because the current workers have relations that have retired. Maybe they are their father, mothers. And if you take care of them, it will make the current workers to really sit up and work very well. Their productivity will increase. So, to be very frank, try to vote people that are business, you know, they have business ideas. They want to solve the problem of the economy. That is my yes.
You blame the delay on human factor.
Well, that is it. Because we have the money. But somehow we did not look at that area. And we must thank the federal government for thinking that, look, let us take care of this at a go. They may decide to have just addressed accrued right where people are talking about it. But they said, no, all those things that were put on the table, we take care of them at one go.
Indeed. Are you by any way maybe skeptical about government paying lip service to things like this? Sometimes we hear announcements like this before the implementation is also take another very long period of time.
Well, I'm very confident that this deal has been done. This deed has been done. The Director General of the National Pension Commission should be congratulated for the effort to get this thing from the federal government. And I'm sure they will follow diligently because it will put their mind at rest. Pensioners will not be up in their throat to be paid all this, what the Pension Reform Act promised them.
Indeed, they're talking about PENCOM now, which regulates the pension industry in Nigeria. According to them, they say the bond will restore confidence in the sector. And how would that happen? Or do you agree with them?
Sincerely, I agree with them because it will restore confidence. Because if my brother retired and he has done the verification, the data capture, he just waiting for his pension, it will take like 1 month before he start getting his pension. And once he gets it, he will tell people. So people will now be very confident about the contributory pension scheme.
All right. Talking about people being confident about the pension scheme, the PENCOM also did release a statement yesterday where they say that it was actually via their social media pages, and they say that the federal government, they have actually applauded the federal government and say that the less or low-income earners, university professors, and many others will benefit from this scheme.
Yes.
So what do you make of that statement? What are the composition of the benefactors?
Yes. The professors, federal government, maybe with their agreement with ASU and the rest, they now said professors will earn their full salary as pension when they retire, just like they do with permanent secretaries and the top military and the police brass. You understand? But what is in their retirement savings account is the deduction, the 18%. So all these years, it is the promise, but the component to make them to be taking their full salary as pension has not been paid until now. With this bond now, once it now goes to CBN, it becomes money, the National Pension Commission will access it and will now peel up the balance into their retirement savings account, and they will start taking their full salary,
as their pension upon retirement.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at how would this boost our, resolve the crisis between the federal government and ASU. That crisis has been a very long, crisis.
Yes. Well, number one, at least the professors will now be friendly to the federal government. The professors will surely now be a shining example where other ASU members will try and work hard to become professors so that they can take their full salary as pension. And
do you believe professors have been shortchanged over the years?
Oh, definitely. They have suffered.
They've suffered.
They have suffered
so much in education.
Yes.
Imparting
they
knowledge
were
to the
promised
students,
something which was not delivered. Definitely, they are not happy. I have one of my lecturers, a professor, who retired. I think last 2 years. He did not get his pension until a year after because of the accrued right issue, and then the next he was paid less than the full salary, but he has to take it because the federal government did not give the balance. But now I'm sure my lecturer will be very happy to hear about it.
Indeed, yes. And I hope that he benefits from it as well. But how would this, restore confidence in the pension system? There are a lot of people who doesn't believe in CPS. How would this restore confidence in that system? There's when that information came out last week, there were so many commendations. Yourself, you released a statement, you and your association, commending the federal government. How would this restore confidence now in the system?
For example, the police, they are saying that what they get from the contributory pension as monthly pension is less than what their colleagues who retired before under the defined benefit. Now, these police officers will see their pension increased because all these increases, 2007 15%, 2010 33%, 2019 consequential adjustment, all will be added. Even 2024, this government has added about 23% to the pension. So all this addition will beef up their accrued right, and more money will be paid into their RSA, and therefore their monthly pension will be enhanced.
Talking about police, this is another agency that a lot of people have been saying they should be taken out of the CPS for a very long time. How would this, in a way, do you think that that reform needs to be done for us to take the Nigerian police force? There's been that campaign for a long time to take police force out of CPS.
Yes, I believe with this release of this 758
billion
bond, that, you know, agitation will go down. You understand?
You think it's about the money or it's about the system?
No, it's about the money. I had talked with police officers. It's about the money. They said the quantum of funds that they were given every month is less than their colleagues, and they go to the same market. You understand? So they are not happy. For example, ASP under contributory pension and less than an ASP under the defined benefit. So with these increases, you will see that the ASP under the CSP, his pension will go up. Now, let me tell you, the contributory pension scheme, if the police knew, they should have resolved their issue within that contributory pension. Because no any pension arrangement assure you of funds. You understand? Funds are there. So whatever you want to do, there is money. But the other one, you have to wait until budget, until releases. If there is any problem, it is that problem they will solve. They will not solve the pensioners.
Absolutely.
You understand? But here, there is money set aside for you in your name. No any waiting for any government agency to release money. So no matter how, the police, they should try and resolve their issue within the contributory pension, if they know.
Indeed, a very, very good one there. But let's also ask about the issue of the minimum wage as well, which will also have consequences on the CPS, talking about contributory pension scheme. Because once that is implemented, we understand that many agencies are yet to implement that as well. Once that is implemented, how would it boost the contribution of CPS in the system?
As the salary increases, the deduction from that salary to the retirement savings will automatically increase. 10%, 8%, that's 18%. For example, if my salary before is 100,000, 18%, and then it now become 150,000, 18% of 150,000 is higher. Absolutely. So more money will enter your contributory pension, and then the investment income will automatically increase. So,
okay, for informal sector that are not directly involved in pension contribution, we understand a lot of them are beginning to, contribute now to the pension scheme. Now, how would they receive this kind of message? Is it like to encourage them to contribute more into the retirement savings account?
Well, the way I would look at it is that anywhere they turn now, the informal sector workers, they will hear good things about the contributory pension. They will hear civil servants that are collecting their pension to be very happy with the scheme. So that will now cascade down to the market, and they will be now more confident in the system. That's the way I look at it.
But the economy is also not so impressive. instead of a lot of the money is no longer available for the informal sector to contribute to the RSA because you know about the increase in the standard of living and a lot of them trying to withdraw money. From the system. After even not so much in terms of contributions.
Well, I can see we are a developing economy. We are trying to strategize and move the economy to a stronger pedestal. The fundamentals in the Nigerian economy, the future is very good. And definitely, you cannot go without the informal sector. That's almost 80% of Nigerian workers.
Absolutely.
So what we envisage is that all these policies will cascade down and make the economy work at the bottom. That is the way the economy can work for everybody. And definitely, if people know about this, it's like a financial inclusion. Because the way the micro pension scheme was worked at, there is 40%, there is 60%. 60% is for your retirement. 40% you can access it after 3 months. So it's a way for you to keep money. And this money, once you put it, nobody will take tax out of it. So it's like federal government is adding money to your money. If you take your money to the bank, definitely they will take tax. Certainly. But here, there will not be any tax. And whenever you need it, is it for Salah, is it for Christmas, you will access it. Whole, you will be given.
Indeed. Going forward now, as we wrap up the conversation, what do you think PENCOM should do? Because there is a new year and a lot of people have commended the new pension management for their intervention so far in the pension administration in Nigeria. Given the current economic reality, what do you think PENCOM should do to encourage more Nigerians to get involved in retirement savings account contributions?
PENCOM should increase their awareness activities. With this money now, they should roll out the drums. They should reach out to factories, to markets, to all forums. Their zonal offices should be visiting all these unions and be telling them about this thing. The more you go out, the more people ask about what is happening. And with that, knowledge will come and they can partake in it.
Indeed, I must thank you for your time today. Sani Mustapha, Senior Technical Advisor, Contributory Pension and Happy Retirement Advocacy, COPEHRA. Of course, he was the former Director of Corporate Services at PITAD. Of course, I did say my guest is retired, but indeed not tired. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Thank you.
All right, with that is a wrap on the show today. We're back again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogun.